Out here, it's different. The woods, the water, the wild. This is where we hunt. This is where we fish. This is how we live. Welcome to the We Hunt Too, We Fish Too podcast, where we hunt, fish, and live outside. Welcome back to another episode of We Hunt Too, We Fish Too, where we hunt, fish, and live outside. Today, we have an extraordinary guest that's going to share some information with us today, Mr. Blaine Anthony. And so while we have the opportunity real early, let's welcome Mr. Anthony to the show.
You guys need sound effects with like a big stadium of people cheering and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I got you. Hold on.
Awesome.
That's even better. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we've been looking forward to this conversation with you, Mr. Blaine, for quite some time now. From the early introduction, we've been just excited. I know I have, Lou. We've talked about the Broadheads the moment we got them in the mailbox, and
Yes, sir.
we
We did.
saying what we're going to use them for, how we're going to use it. But
Right.
the thing about this episode, it's I want to bring some information to the community in terms of what is it to hunt different species like bear and like elk and things of that nature. But to hear it from an experienced bow hunter such as yourself, one who have many, many years, and you have taken many, many game with it, we are eager to hear just some insights, some helpful tips and information that you may have. And also, give us some stories about some of your wildest bear chases, because I saw one video. I think it was called the rage bear, or the bear he became enraged, and you had to really make a quick decision on that one. So we want to hear those kinds of things. But
Sure.
for my audiences, Mr. Blaine shares decades of consistently being a successful bow hunter. He has consistently been one to be innovative in terms of gear, and his mentality and his approach to it separates him from a lot of folks you may see. So with that, Mr. Blaine, thank you again. And one quick question that you can kind of get us started: just tell us a little bit more about yourself that we may have missed.
You pretty much nailed it. I mean, I've been in I've made a living, I should say, in the outdoor industry since 2002. So I won't try to do that math. I'll save it for Doc. But it's been a minute. I've obviously been in the outdoor industry longer than that. I was a guide for 12 years before that, guiding bear hunts and, just that whole thing. Unlike a lot of people that people find interesting is I didn't grow up hunting with my granddaddy or my dad, or I didn't grow up hunting at all.
Right.
I lost a Texas Hold'em bet and a bet I couldn't cover. And he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll cover the bet, but if you lose, you got to go hunting tomorrow morning." And I was like, "Oh my God, who would want to kill one of them pretty deer?" And I lost. And but you guys, I think the hunters out there know.
Yeah.
I had zero interest, but when you harvest that first animal, it's I like to explain it as it's like catching the winning touchdown at the Super Bowl. It's a feeling you cannot describe. And I'll never forget, I was trying to gut the animal. That was a sad scene, but I was trying to gut the animal, and my brother-in-law said, "What do you think?" And I looked him in the eyes and I said, "I think I'm going to figure out how to do a living doing this."
Yeah.
And that was day one. And that was the first time I ever hunted. So,
Wow.
yeah, unlike a lot of people, I was a city kid. I lived in New Jersey, played on the Jersey Shore, did the whole thing. Had a great job, especially back in Jersey where, there's a lot more money than where I'm from right now. But yeah, I've pretty much from that day on, I've dedicated my life studying the outdoors. Became fascinated with bears a couple of years
Okay.
later, and that whole bear conservation thing turned into a way of life for me. You know, not just hunting, but the actual, you know, climbing into bear dens and, you know, all of that fun stuff. So, yep.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
besides that, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. Been on TV, still on TV.
Yep.
2003 was my first season on TV. You want to talk about someone you shouldn't have listened to back in 2003. I started hunting, and so yeah, but yeah, we had a yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride. I wouldn't change it for anything right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so folks, you heard all of that, but there's this show. It's called The Hitmen. That's
Yeah.
the show that I
Yeah.
love watching, and I come to learn. But you know, with that experience, how did you able to manufacture such a brilliant career, and how did the nickname for the audience and who may not know, how did you get that nickname, the Bear Whisperer?
Um, Super funny when just really quick, I started back. My first season on TV was 2003. We were filming in 2002 for that. And it was bad, man. I could show you the video. You would go, "Oh my God, it was bad." But
You had to start
and what's
somewhere.
funny is I never had a year that I thought it was better. I thought I was great, man. I was watching myself on TV. I'd stand up. My mama and my wife told me I was awesome. So I was
That's
on
all
it
you
as
need to
far as I
hear.
was
That's
concerned.
all.
Exactly.
That's all you
Yeah.
need to hear.
So, but that back to the name of the show back then was North American Safari. And I used to call my pro staff the Hitmen. Then we changed to the Hitmen. I think 2008, 2009, we changed the name of the show just so we didn't have a real long name to the TV show. And I
Wow.
was getting frustrated. I couldn't get, because it cost a lot of money to be
Right.
on TV. So I couldn't get
Yes.
sponsors. What am I going to say? I'm just another guy on TV playing music and posing with a deer and telling you how cold it is outside. So my last year was going to be 2010, and I just made that spur of the moment decision. I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't keep making 15,000 a year, sometimes zero if a sponsor doesn't
Wow.
pay you.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out on my sword. I'm going to make this TV show called The Bear Whisperer.
Mm.
Because everybody was calling me the Bear Whisperer as a joke because I kept getting attacked by bears. And so I did every episode with a cup like this with a little handmade haterade on it. And I let my hair grow again the way it was before I started doing TV. I started wearing my fancy pants and doing everything else, and pretty much said, I don't care what anybody thinks. It's my last year on TV. Have some
Go with
haterade and deal with it.
deal.
And
Yeah.
so I ran that little 3-month special on the Sportsman's Channel, and I had already bought tickets to the ATA show at the time and to go do that trade show. So I said, I'm going to go anyway, even though I officially quit. And I went there. The Bear Whisperer, the little 3-month joke series, won a Golden Moose Award. Then
Wow.
I was walking through the crowd, and sponsors were reaching out, grabbing me by the shoulder, saying, "We got to talk. How much you want?"
Awesome.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
so,
Awesome.
yeah, after the second guy did that, I was like, "Oh, of course I'm going to be on TV next year. What are you talking about?" So,
Yes. Yeah.
so we kept the Hitmen going pretty much January to June, and then we started the Bear Whisperer from July to we started the Bear Whisperer from July to December. And yeah, it's pretty much been that way. We kind of moved out of the Bear Whisperer just because there's only so much people want to see me holding cubs and stuff like that. So now the show's called Game On, which
Game on.
Okay.
started this week actually.
Okay.
And it's just kind of it's more focused on just keeping the outdoor industry real. And for me, that is trying to get the youth more into it, where we're declining. The average age is
Yes.
raising of the hunter.
Yes.
I want them to see that you don't have to put on face paint and cross rivers up to your neck with a
Yes.
gun over your head, because that's
Yes.
all bull dinky. It's to try to impress people. It's not real
Right.
life.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
want to
Right.
show them hunt camp. I want to show them how much fun we have. It ain't about the kill.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
about the community. And
That's
I
right.
tell everybody, come spend 1 week in hunt camp with me. you will be addicted. You'll love it.
Right.
So,
A
yep.
a absolutely, in this in that same vein, Mr. Anthony, that's what we try to promote. It's not just about the kill, it's not about the harvest. It's what we say it's about the connection, with the connection to nature, the
That's it.
connection
Yep.
to giving yourself the opportunity to hit that reset button. So
That's right.
Absolutely.
that was fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
with that, you being such an accomplished bow hunter, and then Lou, I'm gonna swing it over to
Mhm.
you.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
who did I didn't remember or didn't hear you say who how did the bow hunting aspect, how did you get into the bow hunting, which led to you designing your own broadhead?
I'm gonna say,
Mhm.
t just, I'm gonna keep it real,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think
Keep
I'm
it
Yeah.
gonna
real.
be the
That's right.
majority of America, the
Mhm.
majority of the let's say I like to say Billy Joe Lunchbucket, I'm one of them, right?
Right, right.
Um, I think
Mhm.
bow hunting initially starts for most people the same way it started for me. It was a necessity. It was a way to extend my hunting season.
Okay,
I
okay.
I I
Bingo.
had no way I had no interest in bow hunting. If you said,
Mhm.
Mm.
we're gonna start gun hunting in October to November 31st," I would be still a gun hunter probably.
Mhm.
But they said
Mm.
you can only in Maine here, you can only hunt with a bow in October, and then gun season starts in the month of November.
Right.
So I started bow hunting to increase my season to be able to get a
Okay.
deer, any deer.
That's right.
So that's how it started. But if you're a bow hunter, you know the first time it's mano y mano,
Woo.
man, you
Yeah.
feel it's not the same as gun hunting.
It's not when
No.
did question for you, when did you harvest your first bow kill?
That's a very good question. I'm gonna
Alright.
say
Mhm.
sometime in the late '90s,
Okay.
in that
Late 90s?
vicinity. Yeah, late
Mhm.
'90s and just, in my backyard kind of, I had a $299 Cabela's set up with the sight and
Uh-huh.
I
Right,
just
just
did a little rant about people spending 3 grand on a bow. You guys are crazy.
Yes.
I've killed more deer with a $400 bow than I'll ever kill with these $3,000 ones they ship me for free.
When
right.
did you know
Guaranteed.
that, that bow hunting was your calling?
Mhm.
Like, you had a
I would say it was pretty immediate after the
okay.
first year. I mean, it
Yeah.
was I don't I hunt for 2 reasons. Feed my
Okay.
family,
That's right.
the health of the meat, probably
Yeah.
Mhm.
the most important thing to me,
Right,
and
right.
then the thrill of the hunt. And
Yes.
if you're just a gun hunter, I promise you, you don't know.
What you
They're
missing?
missing out, ain't they?
It
They
They
missing.
Yeah,
missing.
you
They
can't
missing out.
anything you feel when you pull the trigger, just times
Ooh.
that by 10
That's
when you
right.
release
That
an
Thank you.
arrow.
Thank you for
Yep.
saying that. Yes.
yes,
Yes, yes.
yes,
That's
and
uh,
they needed to hear this. They
they did.
really needed to hear this. Go ahead, Lou.
For
Mhm.
sure.
No,
Yep.
I was just saying that's it enhances when you bow hunting, there's so many things that could go wrong. When a gun, if you steal, you breathe right, you squeeze the trigger, it should be a dead animal. Pretty much that
Mhm.
simple. But when bow
Every
hunting,
time. Agreed.
every time. But when you are in a tree on the ground, you in an awkward position under a limb, you pulling back, you gotta make sure your form is right, you gotta make sure your balance right, you're breathing right, and you gotta execute every time in order to harvest
Mhm.
that animal. And what still excites you after all these years about bow hunting?
I gotta be honest, it for me anyway, it's the same thing as it was the first time.
That's
It's
awesome.
just
Yeah.
the rush, just being able to get an animal 20 yards from me
Yeah,
Yeah.
and being
yeah,
able to
yeah.
get the shot off. And, back to what you said, you know, archery is unlike gun hunting. And I'm not, because I'm one of those guys, so I'm not talking any crap right now. I'm the same guy that I'm talking about.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Um, but, gun hunting, most gun hunters, if they hunt November 1st, they break their gun out October 29th. They take a couple shots at the target, make sure they're on, and they go hunting.
Mhm.
You
Okay.
can't really get away with that in the archery
No,
world.
not bow
If
No.
hunting. No,
if you
sir.
Nope.
don't practice,
Nope.
and like you said, there's
Practice.
so
That's
many odd positions. Just
Yes.
the way your feet are standing. So
Mhm.
there's so much more. Yeah, I get a lot of hate by calling it a sport, but there's a lot more sport in the archery hunting aspect
Yes.
Yes.
because you need to practice. You can't just break your bow out on October 30th and go
Mm-mm.
hunting November 1st. If you do that, there's an ethics problem there
Yes.
That's
because
right. That's
you're
Yes. You're
not
gonna
going to shoot
maim
right.
more than
So,
yep.
that's
You're
true.
gonna maim them more
Yep.
so
yep.
than you kill. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, to tie this segment up,
Mhm.
everybody sees successful hunt, and I'm sure they have seen the ones that you have taken over the
Yep.
years, Mr. Anthony,
Mhm.
and we try to share ours with our community here about the harvest
Right.
that we've had, but we understand collectively that is more to it. It's preparation, it's time, it's commitment, it's
Yep.
dedication to the actual. And I love the way you said it, the sport
Yep.
of archery, because
Yeah.
many people, I get questions all the time. Matter of fact, Lou had a question. We was coming back from uh, uh, uh,
Georgia?
we was coming back from Georgia,
Georgia.
and
Mhm.
a young man called in and asked him a question about archery. And I
Mhm.
love I love the response Luke gave in terms of how you
Mhm.
breathe, how you inhale on the draw, exhale on the release. All
Yep.
those things are important, and it impacts whether you are successful or not. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So
Mhm.
transitioning to becoming the bear whisperer.
Yeah.
What fascinates me about whitetail and other game I've taken is the fact that there's the chase, there's the opportunity, and the challenge to myself just can I get it done, right? So, and we all had that doubt in the back of our minds at some point, right before we either pull the trigger or hit the release. So, what fascinates you about bears, particularly the black bear? Because I see tons and tons and tons of video with you and black bears.
Mhm.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that got me very interested. So hunting a black bear and a deer, there's not much different. It's the same
Okay.
rush.
Huh?
There might be a little
Okay.
more, throwing an arrow at something that bites back.
That's right.
So so
Yeah, a predator or a herbivore. It's a difference. It's a difference
There was
now.
a difference. Okay.
but what fascinated me, so when I hunt whitetail, which is honestly still my favorite, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yes.
the bear conservation thing, but
Mm-hmm.
what was fascinating the most is I have bears all around me where I live right here. If I lived here my whole life, hunted whitetail my whole life, I probably would never ever see a bear in the wild. So that's
Mm.
how smart and elusive they are.
Okay.
So you have to hunt black bear to get a black bear, number
Mm-hmm.
one. Number two, after hunting black bear, what intrigued me the most was the difference between a whitetail. A whitetail runs on like pure instinct and pure everything, right? Like
Okay.
something don't
Right.
smell
Right.
right, something don't feel right, I'm
Right.
gone,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
End of story.
Yeah.
Bears think. So the best way I
Mm.
can describe it is almost like your dog. They make conscious decisions. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say you're hunting bear over bait. They know
Okay.
you're there. I tell every one of my customers before you shoot your bear, he's going to look you right in your eyes and look deep into your soul.
Mm,
Oh Lord.
Um,
mm, mm.
yeah, and they always come back in the woods and they go, "You were right." I
You
mean,
were
it was just like
right.
this. That bear's choosing to deal with you to get the donut or
Uh-huh.
whatever, right?
Ah.
So,
Okay.
and it's the same thing with, like if you go to Alaska and you hunt bears, they've never seen a human. So a lot of times you can just walk up to them or crawl up to them. They don't know what you are. They're the king of the forest, right? There's
Mm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing they're afraid of out there. So,
Right.
but it's watching them and the way they think and the way they act. And then, when I started going to bear dens and learning from real bear experts,
Right.
biologists and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that,
Okay.
um, it's just amazing the facts and how much they think and how they have personalities like we have. We go
Mm.
to
Okay.
some dens, I would say most dens, the bear will curl up in a ball and just please don't touch me, please don't stick
Right, right.
me. And you get to the other dens and they're UFC fighters, right? The second they see you, they're trying to rip your face off. So, and there's no way to know what,
Which
what dens what bears what kind of mood they're in, so on and so forth. So, they're just absolutely fascinating critters that here's a fun fact for your listeners.
Okay.
It's the only mammal animal in the world while they're in the den, because all bears den, right? A lot of people say, oh, in
Mhm.
Florida, they don't den. They do den. They
Okay.
do have a hibernation period.
Okay.
So, but in Maine and Canada, they have a big hibernation period, right? Like
Right.
months and
Right.
months and months. While they're laying there, they don't urinate. They don't go poop. They
Wow.
turn their urine while they're laying there into muscle mass, not moving.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
So
Muscle
That is
as a
mass.
so that is
bear's
so
laying there, he's bulking up.
fascinating. That's
They don't
fascinating.
have to walk. They don't have to move. They build muscle from their urine inside of their system, and they turn that urine into muscle mass. So yeah, just a
Oh,
fascinating animal.
That
it
that
is.
that that is truly a fun fact. You talked about how intelligent bears are.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
even spoke about the behavior. So, what
Mhm.
what are some what are first of all, are bears misunderstood? And if so, what are some of the misconceptions that you routinely see out in the public?
I would say 2 big ones, and I tell everybody, and they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm not crazy. I think if you talk to any biologist, anybody that lives in the woods in Maine like I am, I promise you, you better be way more afraid of a moose than a bear.
What?
So yeah, oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Bears you
Really?
never see. They do not
Yeah.
tolerate you. If they hear your truck, hear your voice, smell you,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
goes wrong, they're gone. You never
Yeah.
even
Mhm.
see them. Bears are they will run, 99% of the time. Of course, there's get between a sow and her cubs. And then you just got some evil bears out there.
Mhm.
But generally speaking, if you look at the actual stats of bear attacks for no reason, I
Mhm.
think the last one was like 15 years ago in Canada, a guy doing a GPS survey.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
So
there's almost no reason to fear a bear. So that's a massive, massive
messing
misconception
Gotcha.
of bears. I would say that they're this big, dangerous. And now, obviously, you stick in, everybody's like, "Oh, you've been a, I've been attacked on film 4 times." But
Oh.
all of those
All
bears had something in common. They had a bullet or a broadhead in it,
Right.
oh.
right?
Okay, yeah, so
So
they were
Oh.
instant
They had
yeah,
a
they
grudge.
were
Yeah.
raging. They probably
Yeah.
raging.
most of them couldn't move very well.
Mhm.
Okay.
There was this one I, just was gonna roll him over because there was a lot of blood where he was laying. My cameraman had shot him, and,
Mhm.
I grabbed him between the ears to roll him over, and he wasn't even a little bit dead. So,
Oh,
yeah, he was
not
mad.
Wow.
even a little.
He was
Yeah,
mad. So so
he weren't
so
having it.
so were you what would you say that was the thing that made you nervous, or that was the first time you were fearful in a sense or nervous about hunting bears with an experience like that?
Mm.
No, I don't think I ever had an opportunity to be nervous or scared ever.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't. I've crawled down my new cameraman. Um, he gets so mad because if I'm bored and there's nothing but 200-pound bears around, I'll try to Navy SEAL crawl down to the bait barrel and wait for them to stick their head in the barrel and slap them in the butt, and then they come out running and I stop doing that. You're going to get killed one day. So yeah, it
Yeah.
might be my demise, but hanging out with Randy Cross, Lisa Bates, these great bear people, like super smart, like
Mhm.
Mm.
they've forgotten more than I'll ever know. Um, I became a lot less nervous going to the bear dens and learning just exactly how bears are, even, trapping
Mm.
them for conservation. I'm not a trapper, but, trapping them for conservation reasons, tagging them and putting collars on them, seeing where they go and how they act and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That type of stuff makes you kind of come to the realization there's just nothing to fear. I
Okay.
was, I thought bears were just movie critters that killed everybody, before I started hunting them and learned about them. But yeah, so that's the biggest misconception. They're not as scary. And they're probably way smarter than people think they are. Way,
So
way,
it
And
way
so
smarter.
you're talking about black bears, right? You're not comparing them
Correct.
to a brown or
brown.
grizzly bear, anything like
No,
Mm.
that,
I'm
right?
definitely not a grizzly or brown bear expert. Yeah,
Okay.
those
Okay.
those dudes will eat you because they're hungry.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yes,
All right.
yeah,
So we're
Okay.
not talking about yogi and hey
No.
boo boo. We're not
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
no sir.
Different bear, different bear.
Okay.
Different bear.
Got anything, Lou?
Well, no, I was just going to ask him. I'm glad you said that, but when you're and you out there so much with bears and they're very highly intelligent, like you said, they move. And I've had an experience encounter with a bear over an elk where the bear was eating the elk and wasn't paying attention to us, and he stood up and ran right past us, and then he stood back up and looked at us like, "Why am I running?" But then he
Mhm.
got behind a cedar tree and then turned around and looked at us and then stood back behind the cedar tree, and the guy just waved his hat. We never heard that bear leave, right? So
Yeah,
my question, it's like he said, "We're going to go this way," and I'm like, "No, we not going this way. We need to go back the opposite way.
That's
Why
a
are we
bear,
going that way?"
buddy.
He said, "No, we're good. We're good." I said, "I am so far out of my element trying to do an elk hunt." But my
yeah.
question is, can hunters read a bear like they read a deer?
I'm gonna
Good.
say,
Oh, that's a good
y- y-
question because I need to know
yeah.
this.
So the answer is yes, but after
Okay.
a whole lot of years of seeing bears, which
Right.
most people never get to experience. So, if
Mm,
you hunt a bear in the middle of June, and
okay.
if I'm in bear camp, I'll tell people they're in the rut, like the whitetail rut is like the middle of June. So
Mm,
I tell
okay.
them, look, if you're by a bear bait and he walks by that bear bait, you better figure it out because you'll never see him again because he's just
Mhm.
scent checking for sows. He don't care about eating, just like whitetail don't care about eating. They think about one
Gotcha.
thing. So
Mm.
Okay.
bears are
Okay.
doing the same thing. So being able to read, for instance, a bear that's going to stop and eat or a bear that's
Mhm.
going to keep walking. And then, even when a bear comes in, like I said, 99 times out of 100, he's going to be staring at you the whole time he's walking in. So
Mm,
making that call of when to take the shot, should you
yeah.
wait for his head to go in a barrel? Should you, so on and so forth is super hard.
Mm.
Another thing I'm going to say is bears are big time warners, right? They don't,
Okay.
you've probably seen bears like, "Arr," and smack
Yeah.
the ground right in front of you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they're
Right.
like, get out of here. That's my elk, let's say.
Okay. Okay.
So they're
Okay.
warning you, but it
Okay.
really is an absolute bluff, right? They're
Okay.
not going to really do anything. Now, if a bear doesn't do anything and kind of crouches down like a cougar and starts kind of weaving back and forth,
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
it's
Uh-oh.
too late to run. Too late
Oh,
to run.
Too
He's made up
too.
his mind. He's going to get you.
oh
Um,
Wow.
man.
but I
So
I'm
think the bear
go
biologist in Maine, Randy Cross, smartest guy I know in the bear woods. He said something very, very smart that I've repeated a million times, especially on TV and stuff. A black bear will rarely kill you. He'll send you to the
mm,
hospital, but rarely kill you. Once he thinks he's got you down or he got the best of you, he's going
right.
to walk or run off. Compared to a grizzly bear or a polar bear, they're going to kill you,
Yeah.
and then eat you. Yeah,
mm.
So bear you need to have patience, right? You need to have patience with bears, but
big time.
they also demand a lot of respect, like you said,
Yeah,
because of paying
that's the key,
attention.
right. Never
Respect
have to fear them, but you always have to
Got to
respect them.
respect them.
Respect him, respect him.
Yeah.
Yep,
See, you
Good point,
understand
Lou.
the sign. Yep, he understands the sign language that they are. He reads the bear very well, and for us to go out there, we big deer hunters, we'll go out there. If a bear standing up and facing the wrong way, I'm running. I'm getting out of there because I have no idea
Absolutely.
about hunting bear.
There.
Right.
yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we're going into I guess a season. What season
Mhm.
do you hunt bear?
I almost hunt strictly the spring season,
Okay.
and for multiple reasons. If you're calling in bears, well, one biggest reason is just the fact that they don't have a lot to eat.
Okay.
So even if you're not going to hunt over bait,
Mhm.
if you're in, let's say, May,
Mhm.
and you can actually call bears because they're looking for rabbits, they're looking for anything to eat because
Okay.
there's no berries, there's no nothing. So
Okay.
that's the best time. A fall season, I'm not kidding you, you can have picture of 12 different bears on a bear bait, and I promise you any bear guide out there will tell you this is a fact. Every day at 4 o'clock, the bear's just rolling into this bear bait for 4 hours, daylight hours. The second you put a hunter in that stand, you don't see another bear for 2 weeks.
Mm.
One hunter.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they don't have to tolerate you. That's the problem. There's raspberries, there's blueberries, there's all kinds of stuff for them to eat, even grass they can eat. In the springtime, they don't have that luxury. So
Mhm.
they're all fighting over the same food sources. So springtime is a much more successful time of year to hunt bear.
Mm.
Unfortunately, most of the country don't have a spring season, even Maine.
Mhm.
They only have
Mhm.
a fall season. There's some natives that have a spring season because they can have a spring season. It's
So
their property.
mhm.
Awesome.
But Canada, they almost all have a spring season. So yeah, for me, it's definitely spring season. Be it, fair chase on beaches in Alaska or,
Okay.
in New Brunswick, Canada, I definitely like spring season the best.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, to tie this segment up, I think for
Mhm.
our listeners, I think what you need to take from this is respect. Respect those bears.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Once you study the bear's behavior enough, you can
Mhm.
then learn how to maneuver in and around the wilderness that you will be ultimately sharing with them because you're in their home, you're in their house.
That's
So
right.
for
That's right.
sure.
for us, for those that are interested, because Lou and I we talk, we got a buddy that's trying to get us to go bear hunt in
Mhm.
North Georgia,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily my hesitation, but it is more so I need a little bit more information. And if my audience or if our audience is anything like us, this right here, this conversation is giving me some things that I needed to give me a little bit more confidence to go on that
Confidence.
that, that
Yeah,
bear
that's right.
hunt.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
um, I hope you guys took away the same thing. So as we move
Mhm.
forward, we talked about um your career and how it has developed and to where not only being a TV host, a conservationist, etc., but you also have produced a product that you stand by, that you've used, that is performed time and time again.
Mhm.
It is your broadhead, Zeus
Mhm.
broadhead. So
That's
if
right.
you could kind of tell us how it came about and what the people need to know about Zeus broadheads.
Zeus Broadheads came out in 2008. The inventor's name is Nick Albanese. Great guy from Jersey,
Mhm.
big time hunter. And he invented this phenomenal broadhead no one had ever seen before. But unfortunately, and it's always going to be the case, it's never the best product that wins. It's the guy with the biggest marketing budget that
Wow.
wins.
That's
Mm.
yep,
If
Okay.
absolutely.
you have this TV show host shooting your broadhead and saying this is the best thing since sliced bread, people are going to buy it. And
Mhm.
and that's pretty much what's happened to Zeus, let's say
Okay.
from 2008 till even now. We advertise like crazy now, but we're, a little bit of an uphill battle. But the
Right.
special thing about a Zeus is the blades. I wish I had this. I used to
Which
have this
one?
big model. Yeah,
This one?
that original Zeus. Yep.
The original
That
Zeus?
original
Okay.
Zeus right there.
Hold right here.
Um,
Mhm.
yep, that's the one. Yep.
Mhm.
So the blades, when they hit bone, the blades collapse down into the ferrule, going
Mhm.
through the bone, and then when they clear the bone, they open back up and then back into the vitals. So
Okay.
you just get a lot more penetration than any kind of mechanical, period. We've tested against every mechanical, can't come
Mhm.
close.
Okay.
And even fixed, just because those blades bend back into the ferrule when they hit bone and then open back up when they're back in the soft tissue or the vitals or whatever. That's really what makes Zeus funny. I mean, to bring the point home is I've had broadhead sponsors forever, but
Mhm.
probably since 2009, 2010, I've been shooting the Zeus. And
Okay.
that's when Nick Albanese used to own it back then.
Mhm.
Shooting the Zeus, whether I showed I was shooting a Zeus or not, that's television. That's the way it
Right.
works.
Yeah. Right.
And
Gotcha.
just been amazed. Well, you guys probably know more about gators than I'll ever know. You want to talk about a critter that makes me nervous? Those things make me nervous. Um, but where I go hunting, Townsend and Sons, in the Lake Okeechobee area down there, hunting alligators. I haven't done it yet, but two guys that have shot Zeus, and even the guide who has guided thousands of alligator hunts, Zeus Broadheads is the only broadhead he's seen pass through completely a gator skull.
Wow.
What? A gator skull.
Wow.
A gator
Which-
skull.
Did
Now-
he
Yeah.
use? Did
Yeah.
he use the original, or did he use the breech?
Nope, the breech is brand new this year, so we don't have any data on that yet as far as, with alligators. We have tons with
Okay.
deer and bear. But yeah, nope, not the Apollo. I don't think you guys might not have. Do you guys have the Apollo there?
No, the
no,
Aries
no,
Okay,
we don't have
all
the
right.
Apollo. The original
All right, so
Zeus
yeah,
and the
the
breech.
original Zeus and the Apollo, those were the two broadheads that did it.
Okay.
The Apollo's similar to the original Zeus. It's got a beefier ferrule and doesn't have the bleeder blades. It's just a 2-blade only. So
Gotcha.
those were the two broadheads that did it. But yeah, just penetration. Everybody's like, oh, it's only 1.5 cutting diameter. I go, no, it's 3 inches because there's always an exit wound.
That's
always an exit wound. So 1.5 in, 1.5 out.
Well,
So,
was there a problem you was trying to solve with your blades versus those that you've used in the past or before? Was there something that you saw that something just ain't right with this, or it's not performing this way for me, or I needed to do this where some
Yeah,
other
I mean-
we're not naming names or whatever, but some others weren't doing.
Yeah, I think it always has been, probably always will be, unless you're shooting a Zeus. Look, you're a bow hunter. There's just no such thing as a perfect bow hunting life where you're 6 inches behind the shoulder, center mass.
Right.
You hit an animal, and I'm not going to name names either, but I wish I could tell you how many bears, especially bears, got hit in the shoulder and just the arrow bounced off. Yeah, and a Zeus will never bounce off. The blades will collapse. It'll go through like a bullet and then open back up. So it just increases your ability for success because you're going to get through that animal. I don't care if you're shooting a 40-pound bow or a 90-pound bow, you're going to get through that animal because everything kills a whitetail, a bear, even a moose, everything, a field point, if you hit it perfect.
If you hit it right,
Right.
that's right.
So,
right.
Having a broadhead that you get to harvest the animal on those marginal shots or even bad shots, that's the key for me. And probably the biggest thing that we can't put on the package, not legally, we just don't know how to do it. We can't put on the package, and we get to watch our animals fall down and die. That's the biggest thing that Zeus does. Like your deer runs 20 yards, falls over and dies. If you're a bow hunter, most of the time you're on a tracking mission.
That's right.
You'll see once you kill a hog with one, you'll be like, there he is.
Going.
The hogs usually run away because they're usually 2 steps from getting into a place you can't see. But
that's right.
the watching it, not letting an animal run 20 yards, I just love it. If you're colorblind, you need to shoot Zeus Broadhead.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I did a little research on it, and I was very impressed with the tip, and I know your expression. I hope I got this right. Flies like a field point. I got it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's the actual tip itself that I think is innovative and revolutionary. The way it's cut and designed.
Yeah.
To actually do that penetration and to impact bone on impact.
Yeah.
Am I on the right track with that? Yeah. It's that tip. That's different than anything I've seen.
Yeah, that's probably, and we have a patent on the fact on that tip. So what that tip does, the reason you can have these 2 big blades sticking up, because everybody says flies like a field tip. Who doesn't say that? Right. But we can tell you the science, and the science is what our tip does is it pushes the air over the ferrule and even over the shaft of the arrow. So the only thing guiding your broadhead is your fletching when you shoot a field tip. So the way our tips go, it shoots the air over the ferrule, over the arrow shaft. The only thing guiding your broadhead is the fletching. It's the same exact thing as a field tip. So that's what that patented design does that no one else can do to absolutely make sure that broadhead's going to fly like a field tip.
Awesome.
That's good.
Guys, what you got, Lou?
No, no, I was just gonna say, how does it perform on heavy bones? But I think you've answered that question. The one that just come out, you said it goes around the bone, it collapses and then deploys back out. So I pretty much was answering my question. So the questions that I'm having, that's why I'm over here kind of quiet because I'm like, oh yeah, you already answered my question. You already answered that question. So like, yeah. So that's good to know. Um, far as recommending the broadhead for whitetail, black bear, elk, wild hog, which out of all the ones that you have would you prefer that you can probably take and harvest on all of those? I
I'm
know
gonna
there's a
say,
different.
yeah, I just started hunting with the breech, which I'm super excited about. That's the one in the green
Yes.
pack there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, because I'm Billy Joe Lunchbucket. I'll just talk to the Billy Joe Lunchbucket guys out there. That breech
Okay.
broadhead right there is a 4-pack, tried and true 3-blade broadhead, which has been existed forever. Give Muzzy props for that. We just
Okay.
made it better with our patented tip.
Okay.
Um, but that pack right there is $29.95 for a 4-pack,
Wow.
and
Okay.
every pack comes with 100 and 125 grain. There's nothing to
Yeah,
decide.
that's right.
Best price per broadhead out there. You can't go to Walmart and get a broadhead that inexpensive, and you can buy that from a pro shop that'll support it.
Okay.
So I haven't shot that broadhead a whole lot. I've killed 2 animals. I'm keeping it a secret right now. But I would say, like me personally, I almost exclusively shoot the Apollo. I wish you guys had one. Hey, do we have any Apollos? Oh, all my editors have headphones on. They don't hear me.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the Apollo, very similar to the Zeus, just a juiced up ferrule, and it doesn't have bleeder blades. So it gets, I would say, even a little bit more penetration than the OG Zeus
The OG
does. But
Zeus.
yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely been my broadhead that I've been shooting over the past year, and it works just as well as the Zeus, and I love it.
So one broadhead, multiple species. Does that simplify a hunter's setup then?
Oh, for sure. You
Okay.
almost don't need anything else. If you're hunting turkey, it's a nice, huge broadhead,
Okay.
big mass that's, you're going to be able to, good, clean, quick kills.
Okay.
And that thing, if you look on our Facebook page, you'll just see a father and son were grizzly bear hunting out in Alaska,
Okay.
and they shot a double within 20 minutes of each other. And those 2 grizzly bears died 8 feet from each other inside of the hunters.
Wow. And that was the Apollo, or was that the
No,
the
that actually was, well, one guy was shooting an Apollo and the other guy was
mm,
shooting the OG Zeus, the one in the orange
okay.
pack. So 2
Gotcha.
different
Gotcha.
broadheads. Um, but I can tell you right now, if you can take down a 800 pound grizzly bear and it
Yes.
falls 15 yards from you, and then you shoot another one 20 minutes later and it falls 15
Yeah.
yards from
Yes.
from you, that
Okay.
just says it all. Like I said, you get to watch your animals drop. Good, clean, ethical, fast
Good.
kills.
Good.
Okay, folks. Zeus Broadheads. If you use code DOC20, that's DOC, capitals DOC, all caps, the number
Mm-hmm.
20, you can get a 20% discount on all Zeus Broadheads. So make
That's right.
sure you order and get tons of broadheads through We Hunt 2, We Fish 2, uh, Zeus Broadheads. And I'll put the description all in
Yep.
the
Yep.
link. Put the link in the description below of this video. So thank you, Mr.
Nothing for
Blaine, for
nothing for
that.
nothing. That's like $23 for a pack of breeds, 4
Right.
broadheads
Wow.
with your
Wow.
coupon
That's
code.
Yeah, that's good. 4.
Absolutely,
And you get
absolutely.
and like you said, you get to change out the tips. You have
From 100
it already
grain
comes 100 grain tips,
to
and then you got the
125 grain.
125 grain. 4
Right.
Yep,
broadheads.
absolutely.
Oh, good. Good.
All
Awesome.
right. Just following up. We understand that in order to effectively to use any equipment, you have to be confident in it. And I
Mhm.
think just listen to this conversation about the Zeus Broadheads. You, Mr. Anthony, is extremely confident in the results that it will provide, particularly for bow hunters like Lou and myself who hunt big game here in the state, not only the state of Alabama, but states across the U.S. So
Mhm.
thank you for that. As we transition to the next section, it's going to get just a little controversial. Nothing to be afraid of. I think you've heard this conversation or been involved this
Yeah.
debate for many years now, and it is that debate as to whether compound bows and
Mhm.
crossbows need to exist in the same space as archery. You know, I to start the conversation, Imma add my little bit and to say I've used both.
Okay.
And, I look at it as both have a string, both have an arrow with a fixed blade or mechanical blade at the end. One just pushes it out faster than the other, right? Now, there's been this debate, if you are an able-bodied this or that, you should be able to use a compound. But 2 months ago 2 months ago, and I think I'm a able-bodied human being, able-bodied man.
Yeah.
6'2" and I had 6'2", 280 pound, former UAB football player. I think I'm able-bodied.
Uh,
And I had major shoulder surgery March 26th. I have a brand new shoulder. I replaced a cup and a rod in my arm. And just day before yesterday, I was messing around in Georgia with a guy and
mhm.
his bow that may have been less than 60 pounds of draw. And just just seeing if I could on a quarter pull, I reeked with pain. So
Mhm.
I know for
Mhm.
myself right now until I build up compound is out of the question. Now, I don't know if Blue, if you feel any differently, but you know,
Well, I fell out of a tree in 2024 and injured my shoulder, but I was still able to go to Argentina and harvest a couple animals. However, over time, my shoulder's gotten weak. I'm still able to pull my bow back, and it got me contemplating. Lou, do you want to lower your poundage, or do you want to go to a crossbow? And I've never shot a crossbow.
mm,
I've been
Yep.
fortunate to be able to pull my bow back, and I kind of frowned on it like, you can't, people shouldn't shoot crossbows. They get that. All it is a quiet gun. That's
mhm,
it is. Now the technology and stuff has moved out where they got crossbows that shoot 400 feet per second, 500 feet per second,
mhm.
over 100 yards, 200 yards capability. Um, I guess my question to you is, has technology made hunters better or just more efficient when it comes to hunting? Comparing
Particularly
the
with particularly with that crossbow and that
crossbow
compound bound.
and compound bow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this as an in general statement for me anyway. I think anything that can make me or anybody else more accurate,
Okay.
um, I'm all for it. That's less suffering an animal has to do because
o-
you put a better shot on it, right? So,
Okay. All right.
I'm all about that. As far as there's things that I'm just never going to agree with. A compound,
Okay.
not right now anyway. A compound bow taking 100-yard shot on a whitetail with a compound bow. Look, I know guys practice it. I know they can do
Mhm.
it, but I think they
Hmm.
need to look into kinetic
Kinetic
energy and
energy,
speed and the rest
yes.
of it to find out whether that's actually ethical or not. So
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
one's going to change my mind on that. So here's my opinion on my compound slash
Cross.
crossbow
Yeah.
argument. So
Uh-huh.
I'll say this. Do I wish, and I'll just use the state of Maine because I think it's a good example. We can now shoot a crossbow during bow season.
Okay.
Now, do I like it? No, start a crossbow season. Am I going
Mhm.
to get online and be a keyboard warrior and say, wah, 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 wah? No, I'm just not gonna. And to get to your point, when I just came back from New Brunswick, that was the last bear hunt I did,
Okay.
and I cracked a rib 2 weeks before. So what should I do, Mister Whiner? Not go on my hunt or bring a crossbow?
Right.
because
Right.
I couldn't draw my bow. I chose to bring a crossbow, I promise you. I'm not
Right.
gonna miss a hunt because but my big thing between crossbows and bows is I wish us as hunters could make these decisions. I wish that I could go to Augusta, Maine, and affect politician who don't hunt decisions
Right,
on
right.
whether to bring compound bows or crossbows into, maybe if I had Uncle Ted's juice, I could at least make an impact. But
Right. Right.
and I always try to make an impact, but it's my feelings that I'm trying to make an impact on, not Billy Joe Lunchbucket next door that has no interest in shooting a compound bow. He
Right.
wants to use his crossbow during bow season. So, do I wish that they took a week away from us bow hunters and gave a week to just crossbow hunters? Yes. I wish the crossbows weren't in the woods with me. I got more people I'd have to contend with on public ground because, people buy crossbows, shoot 3 arrows, and hit the woods. You can't do that with a compound bow. You can try, but you're gonna miss a lot. Um, but my big point is that, man, there's nothing I can do about it right
Yeah.
now. So I
Absolutely.
don't want to complain about it. I want to stand with the crossbow hunters and say, heck yeah, we have the largest standing army in the world as hunters. In the
Mhm.
world. Bigger than the
Mhm.
US Army, bigger than the
Mhm.
Marines, bigger than anybody in the world. Let's just unite and say, you know what? That's
That's
what the politicians decide to do. I
right.
will privately try to fight against it. I will privately, but until then, I stand with you
That's
and
right.
say, yeah, you can hit the woods. So that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I don't
I love it.
I like
personally, if
that.
you give me a choice, I say take
I
one of
like that.
my weeks away, give it to crossbow hunters and let them have their own season or let me join in that season, whatever the
Okay.
Yeah,
case is.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but right now it's just like I don't want to debate it. I just want to stand with it
with you, yeah.
and
Okay.
say, if that's the law, I'm with you guys,
I
right?
I
Good.
Like
Good.
I
we're
Right.
I
all a big
really
family.
I really like the way you frame that in
Me
terms
too.
of, you know, not only standing with, but providing the opportunity to just for crossbow hunters. If
Mhm.
I love the idea, well, I give up a week to give them a week.
Yeah.
I love that
A lot of hunters
concept.
won't say that. A
I
lot of
Yeah,
hunters
love
won't say that.
that
Right.
framework because it's
Mhm.
one is acknowledging uh the crossbow hunter, but
The
it's
sure.
difference.
also
Uh-huh. Mhm.
respecting the compound bow hunter. And that right there,
Mhm.
you cannot argue with that. But I want you, Mr. Blaine, and Lou knows is, we are compound bow hunters. But
Correct.
um uh there are those that say that the crossbow should be included. Now, unlike Lou, I've used it and I understand I
Mhm.
see its benefits. But
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
terms of is it the same? I would be insane to say that it is. That is totally just not the case because
Right.
of what Lou said earlier. It's the technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole new technology into
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. And
crossbows
I would
as
actually,
as compared to compound bows.
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
sure. And if you wanted to argue, if we all wanted to argue, let's say you're the
Right.
compound bow guy that's listening to you right now, going, I don't
Mhm.
Right.
care what them boys say. They need to
Right.
keep them daggone rifles that shoot bows out of my woods when I'm trying to
Right.
bow hunt
I
and
know
da
some
da da
people like
da.
that.
Yeah.
Well, answer this. Answer this.
Yeah.
Go to y'all's Facebook. But you guys got a Facebook page, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Go to y'all's Facebook page and say. And now I'm going to be Billy Joe Lunchbucket, and I'm talking to you, compound bow hunter.
Uh-huh.
Compound bow hunting is just way over the top. It's just too much. I'm a traditional
Mm.
bow hunter. I
Mhm.
got a
W
literal stick and string, and
Me
you
Stick
too.
and
guys shouldn't be
string, baby.
allowed in the woods. It should just be me. Answer
Right.
that. Woo!
Right.
Mm.
You
Yes.
can't.
Yeah.
You
You
can't.
You
can't.
can't. It's
Mm, mm,
unanswerable. The only
yeah.
reason we win as compound bow hunters is we are the
Mhm.
majority,
Yes.
Okay.
right?
Yes,
So
that's right.
so
That's right.
that's why we win. And eventually, and probably even right now, I don't know, but crossbow hunters will be the majority. There'll be
You
more of
think
Mhm.
them than there is us.
just
So,
us. Yeah.
if you wanted to get technical, we could just argue forever, right? The
Right.
traditional bow
Right.
hunters can stand up and say, "You compound bows got to get out of the woods. You guys can shoot 50
Right.
yards. We can
Right.
shoot 15. That's ridiculous. You guys are cheaters." And
Right.
we don't have an answer for it, right? We
Right.
just ignore that fact.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and that's my problem. Like, where does it end? All we do is argue and bicker over an arrow flying through the air. And is it a cedar arrow, a carbon
Mm.
fiber arrow, or a fiberglass aluminum arrow? Like, where does it end? It's just it's madness is where it is. So
One thing I
go
One thing
ahead.
I can say that, and I'm glad you said that about traditional bow, compound bow,
Mhm.
crossbow, and we said this on the last episode, Doc, about just trying to get people out in the woods,
Get out in the
Exactly.
woods.
and
Right.
if we can bring people that never hunt before into the woods, and whether they use a crossbow, compound, or traditional, I think that's better than just sitting at home watching TV.
Exactly
Bingo.
right.
Okay.
Bingo.
Okay.
In
You
states
said
where
it, Lou.
a
Yeah.
10-year-old
Absolutely.
is legal to hunt, let's say, which is kind of that normal age. Some are 16, some are 13. Plus, I'll
Right.
just use a 10-year-old legal to hunt,
Uh,
but you need a 40-pound compound bow to legally bow hunt because you don't want to be
right.
bouncing arrows off of stuff.
Right,
So
right.
you just tell that 10-year-old you can start bow hunting when you get strong enough. Or do you tell that 10-year-old, let's go tomorrow because we got a crossbow?
That's right. Right.
You know
So
what I mean? I
yeah,
say
I know
let's get
exactly what
that
you
Absolutely.
mean.
10-year-old out in the woods
Get
Get him
that
out
today.
in the
10-year-old
open.
out there in the woods today. That's right.
Yep.
Get him
Yep.
out there. Get him
Yeah.
enjoying it. Get him get him the thrill of the hunt, thrill of the chase, or the
Mhm.
thrill of the kill.
Exactly.
And
And the
once you
love of bow hunting. He's
and the
still got
love,
something to
yes,
look
yeah,
forward to.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So
Yep.
should that be an entry point? Should that be part of the entry into archery? As far as the youngsters
That's a
using
good
a
question.
crossbow, and then
That was
That's a good question.
just rolling
gradual.
through my head. Like that
Yeah, I'm
thought
just saying that's a
never
good
occurred
question,
to
Doc.
me. Like
Until now.
if you don't allow crossbows, why don't we let
Uh-huh.
people from the ages of 10 to 16 hunt with
That's a
crossbows?
you know what? I
Excellent,
think we
excellent point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent
Yeah.
idea.
That's good.
Excellent idea. Um, you know, we've had some career foresters or some
Mhm.
career
Mhm.
biologists,
Yep.
those that work for the state agencies in terms of
Mm.
U.S. Forestry Service or the Wildlife Management, and
Mhm.
they have both, I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, Lou, have both agreed in some term or another that
Mhm. Mhm.
our participation, not necessarily in the woods, but participation in the discussion
That's
in the
exactly what they said.
rooms that talk
Mhm.
about the policy and the
That's what they
legislation
said.
that are involved in the development of these rules. That
Correct.
way, we can impact whether that 10 to 16-year-old should use the
The
crossbow
crossbow.
as opposed to an adult male
Yeah.
who's able-bodied that can pull a 45-pound
Right.
compound bow back, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
I love the point. I love this point. I hope someone's listening would take this by the tail that take away a week from
Yeah.
archery because I know here in the state of Alabama,
Mhm.
October 16th to February
Mhm. 10th
8th,
10th or
10th or
8th, 8th,
10th or
8th or
8th,
10th. Mhm.
we're allowed to bow hunt.
Yep.
The
A
whole season. That's a
week from
long
that time,
season.
I wouldn't care, because I wouldn't
Mhm.
miss it because I'm not hunting
That's
every
right.
week,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not in
right.
the woods every week. I'm not in the tree every
Right.
week.
Right.
So
Right.
Right.
give them a week and let them have fun. Just let me know. Just let us
Yeah.
Yeah.
know. But I
Yeah.
love that idea though.
Yeah.
We talked about
We do.
ethics, and that right there should be a conversation that need to be discussed. What are what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think, look, we only get 4 weeks of archery here in Maine,
Wow.
pretty much the month of October. And I 100% would give up a week. You know,
Yeah.
it cuts my season down. But if you say, hey, the third week is crossbow season, because one thing that's pretty universal for compound bow hunters
Mhm.
is the fact that during rifle season, you can still use your bow.
Right.
During
Mm-hmm.
during crossbow season, you're still going to be able to use your bow. What are you whining
Right.
about? And I like someone, I can't remember who it was, but it was a great statement where most bow hunters, and this is just the truth, most bow hunters bow hunt because of opportunity. They're
Yes.
not real bow hunters. Real bow hunters, when rifle season comes,
That's right.
they climb up in the tree and they
That's
continue
right.
to bow hunt while
Right.
That's
there's
right.
rifles all around them.
That's right.
Most people, when rifle season comes, they get their
Mhm.
rifle.
Yeah.
And that's that. And a lot of that will depend on where you are and, you know, all of that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think that it's acknowledging the crossbow hunter. And I think half of them, that's all they want to do is be
Be
acknowledged
acknowledged.
that
Yes.
Acknowledge.
That's it.
it's, you know, it's like gun, crossbow, compound bow. You know, I think I think the argument, which is a legit argument, is, you know, crossbows the same thing as compound bows. That, as you said, Doc, that's ridiculous.
This is
Of
ridiculous
course
to
it's
even
not.
think about.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You can
Yeah.
go buy a crossbow, have
Yeah.
me sight it in, and take it in my backyard and hit a bullseye. The
That's
Right.
first
right.
time you pull a trigger, you can't do
Mhm.
that with a compound bow.
No,
You
No,
you
just
can't.
can't.
You
sir.
can't.
You
You
know, so
Practice,
it's
practice,
not the same
practice,
thing,
practice.
right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Right.
it's not the same thing. So they should treat it that way, as not the same thing. Just because it shoots a carbon arrow and a broadhead doesn't make it the same thing.
That's right.
So it's like comparing a black powder gun to a 300 Win Mag, not the same thing.
Not the
It is
same.
not the same thing. It's not the
Yeah.
same.
So
And
yeah,
and
I think it needs its own special attention.
correct.
And you know, truth be known, most every compound bow hunter I know, if they're injured, something's going on,
Right.
they'll pick up that crossbow as a backup.
Mhm.
Right.
And you know, unless you want that luxury taken away from you, be very, very
Right.
careful how much you
Be
want to limit crossbows.
Right.
choose your battles, and that's right. Choose your
Choose your
battles.
Exactly.
battle.
Choose your battle. I'm the one that will bow hunt with my
Mhm.
compound bow all year
Year
long.
long. Yeah.
All
Yep.
year long. I love it. Now, some problems I run into because I have too much clothes on and I gotten too cold and I've been
Temperature.
practicing and temperature
Yeah.
drop and then
Yeah.
I haven't been working out as hard as I normally do and then a deer come out and the nerves get the back of me, get the best of me and I'm wondering what's wrong with my bow. Why my bow won't pull back like it always been pulling back while I'm sitting down.
Think it's
Something
frozen. It ain't
I
frozen.
think it's frozen or it's rusted out. I said
Yeah.
something has happened to this bow.
Mhm.
It's like, no, Lou, your practice when it comes to working out, your breathing, your push and pull, all the things that you normally do, you stopped doing it. You got relaxed on hunting season. You hadn't been working out. You hadn't been
Right.
eating right. You walk and sit in a tree and you got super cold. You didn't practice with all the clothes on. So now you out here, different temperature, different setting, atmosphere, and you think it's something wrong with the bow. Is no. Your practice is made the difference. And it messes up shot placement too. Okay. And we've talked about a lot of things from
Lord have mercy. You talking about bad shots
discussion,
that's made.
ethics, practices, and shot placement.
What's up, We Hunt Two, We Fish Two? It's your boy, Doc. Thank you guys for tuning in to the episode with our conversation with Blaine. You have watched part one of a two-part series. Part two will air next week, same time, Monday at 7 o'clock. But guys, I want you guys to know that these episodes is brought to you by Zeus Broadheads. That's Zeus Broadhead. For all you bow hunters out there, bow season is coming up real soon, so then you stock up on your broadhead. You can get a 20% discount through this channel by using the promo code below. That's DOC20. That's DOC20. Remember, guys, do what your mama told you. Get out the house. Go hunt. We hunt too. We fish too. Peace.